Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Okay, first of all, I would like to ask all of you to give thanks to the presence of greatest Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us the blessing and guidance so that we can still be able to follow the lessons together in this occasion. And I also ask you to deliver your prayer and greetings to our Prophet Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought us from dark age to age light. So we are always on the right path until the end of the war. Actually, we are supposed to be in the classroom together, but COVID-19's condition, it doesn't possible to get together. So we are just using video in via Zoom as an online class. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the games, and the name of the games is a fair shake. Before we start discussion about fair shake, so I wanted to introduce our groups. So we are from group 2. The first, me, Wiwin Eka Putri, and the second, Francisca, and the last, Sukma Ilyas. So I will explain about a fair shake. So let's see in the PowerPoint. A fair shake, an equal chance to do something. It's only right that all the candidates should be given a fair shake. In UK, it's called a fair crack of the whip. An equitable bargain or opportunity, as in you can always count on the boss to give his crew a fair shake. This expression probably alludes to the shaking of this. Next, objectives. Objectives can help participants. 1. Experience how it feels to have your identity redefined. Example, maybe you can explain yourself to identity redefined. 2. Experience how it feels to change a conventional gestures like shaking hands. Example, maybe we are shaking hands with together, but right now it's COVID-19's condition that doesn't possible to shaking hands. And the last, recognize cultural discomfort in general and comfort with physical contact specifically. Okay, so next slide will explain by Francisca.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Francisca, and I will present about the process and the briefing questions. So let's see the PowerPoint. The process will be like this. Have everyone circulate in the room until you give a signal for them to stop and shake right hands with the nearest partner, announcing their first name and repeating what they hear. This should go on a number of times so everyone has a chance to meet. The second is give new instructions. Think of an adjective starting with the first letter of your first name and a noun starting with the last letter of your first name. The third is ask participants to begin circulating again and shake left hands as they meet, exchanging their new names or the two words. The fourth is optional. Conduct another round of introductions. Only ask participants to shake with another part of the body when meeting one another. You can specify which part of the body, for example, elbows, or allow individuals to make their own choices. Debriefing questions. Number 1. How did you feel during the third round of introductions? Why? Number 2. What are the cultural issues that could arise during the exercise? Number 3. How did it feel to be asked to change your name? Who could this happen to in real life? Number 4. What cultural misperceptions could happen during the simple act of introducing ourselves? What communication techniques could be used to reduce the potential for misunderstanding? Number 5. What are the possible implications for ongoing communication with others once you have introduced yourself? The next will be explained by Sukma Ilyas.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Sukma Ilyas. I will give you explanation about the briefing conclusion. So let's see the PowerPoint. The briefing conclusion. The first one is there are many cultural ways of introducing ourselves. The second is when people are asked to change a natural behavior, for example, moving from right to the left hand, it can feel very awkward and it takes considerable energy to remember to do it right, to do it as well. And the last one is when people are asked to change their identity, it has emotional implication. Okay, so guys, let's see the optional ways to conduct exercise. The first one is, depending on the language, the two words could be noun or adjective. Depending on how names are used in the culture or in the training context, the two words could correspond to the last name or the first name. The second is, before the briefing, ask participants to write down as many names from the second rounds as they can remember. Discuss why and notice that people are so focused on their own new name that they listen less effectively to the others. The third is ask participants to explain why they choose their new name and what, if anything, it might have to do with their personality, their background, or their culture. This helps to the nation that culture is a much in here, our own cultural identity, as out there the way foreigners behave. And the last one is the facilitator can note down the new names and use them later in the training for various reasons. For example, humor, example of creativity, to highlight cultural association, and so on. And there is a caution to trainers that this activity is not necessarily to be used with all cultural or with all groups. For example, this activity will need to be modified for cultural effectiveness depending on the group's gender composition, hierarchical consideration, or appropriateness of physical contact. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.